shout out to Tom and the team, because fucking hell, you guys are on another level of customer service. Pull up against a Lambo, a Ferrari, I will smoke every single fucking blood clean one of them. You understand? And that's the point for me. Welcome back to Steve Supercars. It's your boy Big Rich once again for another episode. So today we are out in the Audi S3. It's got a base map on it, so I'm not really sure what power we're running at. All I know is it feels incredibly quick. For those of you that have not followed my channel and you don't know where we're at, this was a project I started a year ago. It probably would have been finished 6 months ago, 7 months ago, had it not been for COVID and not being able to get hold of parts. But the engine has been fully built, so it's fully forged. You know, pistons, rods, everything, super check valve, train, cams, everything in that engine has been done. I will put a link to that probably there. You can see all the work that RESUS have done building this engine in conjunction with Hamilton's engineering. Originally was going to go for a 770 Garrett, but I believe there's a few problems in terms of running that at power, and it's not making the numbers that probably it should be. We went for an older platform, so a GTX 3576 Gen 2, which is what we're running here. A bigger turbo, a little bit of a lag, if I'm honest, even though tuning's not finished. There's a bit of a lag. When the power comes in strong, it's progressive and it pulls. I'm not going to have judgment on that one too much yet, because obviously there's a lot more tuning to be done. They have to work on the high pressure fuel pump, the fueling and everything, so I'm sure they're sorted out. You know, EcoTune is probably the best at tuning, so I'm not hating on any other companies, but just in my opinion and from what I've heard in the research, EcoTune are number one for me. Now, if we're talking about an Audi S3, if you're going to go and buy an Audi S3 and build the car, would you get an 8P or would you get the 8V? The reason I went for this actual 8P model, so it's a 2011, probably the latest, I think it's the last of the latest version before it changed to an 8V, was because when I spoke to Dane from Ignite Performance, he had an 8V mapped at 530. I think it was built to some degree. He just said to me, listen, you have the DQ 500 box, which is bulletproof, but it's going to cost you a lot of money to build the car. Building the 8P is a lot cheaper to build. However, you're going to need to get the DQ 500 eventually, and getting them secondhand, trust me, is ridiculous. Well, we're trying to go to the 700 brake E85 and DQ 500 box. You know, maybe I'll do the 600 and I'll think, you know what, it doesn't need any more. I'm not really in this to chase numbers now. I think originally I thought 700 brake horsepower, let me get people on my YouTube, let me get people on my Instagram. There's, like I said at the start, there's always going to be a faster car. In terms of how fast and how drivable this car is as it stands, in drive it's bearable, like I said before. You don't put your foot down too much, just poodling along. You know, it's bearable, it's not drony, it's manageable. So this is in drive, just driving normally, put my foot down. You still hear it scream, you still hear the spool of the turbo, still all the noises. However, when you put it in sport, yeah, that's when it comes alive. Sport, you hear the tone change, that's when you know time's serious. You hear that, yeah? That feeling is addictive. I find myself going to the shop and going out for a drive and just doing things just to hear this noise, just to hear this car. And that's the thing that people don't understand. If you're not a car person, you don't understand how addictive this can become. You you want 300 brake horse, then you want 400, then you want 500, then you upgrade, then you change it, you want it faster, you want it quicker, you want it to drift. This is what we love. This DSG gearbox is phenomenal, and how it's been mapped with the software from EcoTune. I'm scared at what this car will do when it's fully tuned. I'm frightened because it's quick. For me, it's quick. Right, let's just build this in now. Every single time. Fuck me, that's fast. Let's put it back into drive. Let's have a little talk. In terms of this car, I'm going to have a series. So I'll have a few episodes on different subjects. So I'll talk about how much the car costs. You have to bear in mind, for me, this is a sponsored build. So 95% of it has been money I've got from sponsors to help me with my project. We have a series on, we'll do a draggy times. I think the 0 to 60 is probably a bit unfair because it's a massive turbo. I feel like it will be a bit laggy, so it won't be a good assessment of how quick the car is. Maybe the 100 to 200 time is more of a example of how fast this car can be. You have to remember that even though I am a YouTuber part-time, I'm not in the level of, your DMOs and your officially gas where they're getting massive sponsored builds and all these type of things, and they can build 2,000 brake horsepower cars. I'm not in that league. I'm happy staying in my lane. 600 brake horsepower, 700 brake horsepower for me is massive, and I'm happy with that. For me, I've got to just accept there's always going to be a quicker car. There's always going to be a quicker car, but I tell you what, if I pull up against a stock GTR, if I pull up against a stock R8, if I pull up against a Lambo, a Ferrari, I will smoke every single fucking blood clean one of them. You understand? And that's the point for me. So shout out to Tom and the team, because fucking hell, you guys are on another level of customer service, and your knowledge on what you've done for me, I could never ever, reciprocate. I try to do my bit, but I can never repay what you've done, and you haven't done it for money. That's the thing I need to stress. You've done it for the love of cars, and you've fed into my idea. You've brought Stan from EcoTune, and you've brought all these other people in that have helped me along the way, and I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Please continue to like and subscribe, but for now, I'm just going to leave you with the drive.